Hey guys, how is it going? Oh, this starting right now. If you could be, so hello, anybody watching there on YouTube and or Twitch? I guess it wouldn't be and probably not watching on multiple platforms at the same time. YouTube or Twitch or Facebook. Hello, how are you guys all doing? Today, this morning, I meant to stream this 2 days ago, Monday morning, which for those of you in the US would have been Sunday night, is usually the time I'm trying to stick to for streaming, but I wasn't ready to do this on Monday morning, so it's Wednesday morning here, coffee in hand, and I'm ready to do this. A couple people had asked me to live stream building the V2 Gundam, the core Gundam, and the V2 unit. I'm not going to. Sorry guys, I went ahead and just built this up yesterday. But there he is. There he is. Just didn't really feel. Well, what's going on with you? Didn't really feel the need to stream that. It's not really that complicated of a build. It's a really quick build. And what's wrong with my phone? Okay. So, anyway, that's not what you guys are here to see, or maybe you would like to see that, but that's not what we're going to be building today. We're going to be building the Kisei Kuushiki here. Kisei Kuushiki. I've seen it spelled with the single U, and I've seen it spelled with a double U, and if it's ever spelled anywhere with a W, the Kuushiki, not the Kuushiki, then that's probably the correct spelling for it. Because oftentimes that double U, a double vowel in Japanese, I mean, depending on, I won't get into it, depending on which one it is, anyway, I just know from experiences, in many cases, if it's the English spelling of a Japanese word, and it's sometimes spelled with two U's, that's probably the correct spelling of it. Other times, people will just shorten it and just spell it with just one U, because in English we really only need one U, but for the correct pronunciation, actually it should be two. Anyway, the point is that it's supposed to be a longer vowel sound. But, you know, anyway, sometimes the spelling is a little different when it's spelled out in English. Now, obviously, the big concern, and one of the reasons why I wanted to live stream this build, where I don't necessarily think that this is going to be a very widely interesting build, compared to, like, obviously the majority of my audience is probably looking forward to seeing more Gunpla stuff. I mean, if I wanted to draw the largest audience possible, Gunpla stuff would be the best bet. But the reason why I wanted to stream this is because of how expensive this is. It's a really expensive kit, and so I'm sure those of you guys who are even slightly interested in this, you probably want to see more about it before you spend the money on this. So I want to make sure that you guys can see as much content related to this build as possible, because I know you probably want to, really make sure that you're spending your money wisely if you're going to be dropping the money to buy this kit. So that's why we're streaming it. And we're starting off with the head. Dave B asked, what's the scale on this? The scale is 1/35th, actually, but these robots are not as large as Gundam, so I'm assuming based on kind of the size of the parts, it's going to be around the same size as a master grade, about like that. So it's pricey, yeah. And yes, I did see 95 yen. I did see that there was the Isaac Jules the slash Zaku Phantom announced as a premium Bandai MG. Really excited for that. That looks like a really awesome kit. Alright, I got it. Thank you. Damn. But how are you guys doing today? Alex, how's it going, man? Good morning. Alex is in Japan at the moment, so hopefully, Alex, don't stick around watching my stream for too long. Just get out there and enjoy Japan. I don't know what you're doing at the moment, but hopefully you're just stopping in to say hey. Um, Black Otter Team says he's super interested in Kotobukiya kits, and also Sang Sang. Recently, I'm interested in Kotobukiya kits. What? All right. So, yes, you're interested. You guys are interested in Kotobukiya kits, which is good. That was kind of the main reason for doing Kotobukiya month, or not Kotobukiya, Frame Arms month. The main reason why I wanted to do Frame Arms month was to get just some more people interested in frame arms stuff, which this is not frame arms, of course, but get people more interested in some different frame arms stuff, and just kind of Kotobukiya stuff in general. So hopefully you guys can get some more interest in that. I know usually the main thing as to why I think, is for my audience in particular, why Kotobukiya kits aren't more popular in general is number one, because they're usually more expensive, and number two, people are maybe less familiar with the properties or just less interested in the properties. Like this, for example, is just a Japanese game. It's maybe not something that people are as familiar with as Gundam, which obviously has a gigantic following, much more than this particular game ever will. So, anyway, glad to see some more interest in Kotobukiya, but I understand the reasons why it's generally not as interesting to my audience as Gunpla. And yeah, the 3D printing issues. Yeah, I know. I just posted. If any of you guys are watching there from my Discord, yes, I know that I asked in the Discord about the 3D printing issue. I haven't, and a few of you have replied. So I'll check your guys' replies here in a little bit. I just posted that just before getting ready to do this. But yeah, probably most of you probably don't know this, but I have a 3D printer that I got sent to me by a company, and I've had it for a couple months, and I haven't really been able to do a whole lot with it because I've been having some issues with it, and just don't have a lot of time to be messing around with it. But I'm trying to get the issues fixed with that so we can see what kind of fun stuff we can do with that. Like the first issue was that the belt, one of the belts was too short and didn't fit, and then just having like some printing issues. At first, it was just my problem. I had assembled something wrong. I had plugged in a couple of wires wrong. That was my fault. And but now kind of the issue is that just the print quality is not as good as it should be. So trying to sort out what the issue is with that. But yeah, it's just not my expertise. So it's kind of tricky. Alright, so we're building the head first here, by the way, in case you couldn't tell. As always, guys, if you have questions that you'd like to ask about the build or just questions in general about life, then feel free to ask. If you have questions about COPPA, then just hold off for now. People have been asking about it a lot, so I am going to make a video about COPPA as much as I don't really want to, just at least to address it, so people, at least, obviously people are interested to know what I think about it or my assessment of it or how I think it's going to affect my channel. So if people are interested, then I will make a video about it. So I've been asked about it a ton, so probably later today I'll record that and maybe post it up tomorrow. But yeah, if you have questions, put your questions in all caps there in the chat, or just tag me so I can see your questions easily. Did you have fun doing your interview with Link? It was very entertaining. I thought it was great. Oh, thank you, Jegan. Yeah, I always have fun talking to Link. He's a really funny guy. So yeah, I'm looking forward to meeting him in person again, hanging out in person again next year sometime in Japan, hopefully at Wonderfest. That would be ideal. Here's the head, and yeah, definitely like close to Bandai's, or close to Gunpla 1/100 scale, the master grade size, in terms of the size for this. Really nicely detailed, I will say. Already got a seam line though, here, on this white part on the back of the head. Could very easily just turn that into a panel line, I think, so not too bad. On the gray part inside of there as well, but again, that's an inner piece, so very easy to just get rid of that seam line if you want. It wouldn't interfere with any other parts or anything. The white part on the outside, though, you would have to, I mean, you would pretty much have to enclose this middle part to get rid of that seam line, so much easier, just turn that into a panel line, I think. But, I mean, otherwise, I mean, the color separation all is really nice in here. As usual, Kotobukiya gets usually pretty nicely color separated. Alright. Chris, built my first 3mm, a lot of fun. I'm guessing you mean a 30-minute missions kit, but okay. Next, we're building the torso, which has quite a bit more pieces. It's pretty involved. Here, Zach, are you going to review the PG Perfect Strike or Phaz Verkawa when they come out? Yeah, I'm planning to review both the new Perfect Grade Strike and the Phaz when they come out. I'm super excited for the Phaz. The Strike I'm also pretty excited for, just because I like the Perfect Grade Strike. I built it before, and I'm looking forward to the new improvements that they made to the design. That said, the Perfect Strike is not really my favorite iteration of it. It's just too much for me. There's too much stuff going on with it. It doesn't need the huge sword pack and the launcher pack and the huge backpack. So I don't know. I'm kind of tempted to just, I don't know, whatever I end up doing with mine, I'll probably split it up. Use some parts on one, and then later on down the line, I'll have to get another Perfect Grade Strike, just the base kit, and then put some of the other parts on a second one. Virtue on Twitch asks, have you ever built an Armored Core kit? Yeah, I built and reviewed one Armored Core kit. What was the name of that? The Sunshine, I think was the name of that, if I remember correctly. The Sunshine is kind of a pretty basic one. I also recently got the 9-ball Seraph that I'm going to be building and reviewing for you guys in the near future as well, probably sometime next month. So there'll be another Armored Core review coming out in the relatively near future. 9-ball Seraph. Armored Core kits, I get asked this every so often about Armored Core kits. Honestly, most of the designs aren't really appealing to me, so that's why I don't build them more often. But the 9-ball Seraph is pretty cool. So, looking forward to checking that one out, building that up pretty soon. Yeah, this month, obviously, I'm just kind of focused on frame arm stuff. I got my frame arms build almost done. I finished all the base painting for that yesterday. So today, after lunch, I'm going to just spray some gloss coat on that. And then tonight, work on the panel lining and detailing. And tomorrow, work on the decals. And hopefully finish that on Friday is my plan. But we'll see. You know, panel lining, details, decals, those final steps can often end up taking a lot longer than you expect. So, hopefully going to finish that by Friday, but it's possible it could extend a little bit longer. I think it's going to be easier for me to put the instructions over here. Trying to look at it over there, and that's just kind of far away. Have you ever built one of the hard graph kits? Lee, no, I actually have not ever built any of the hard graph kits. Maybe like the Zaku head would be pretty cool. I'd like to build at some point, but honestly, I mean, as far as I can tell, it's not that different from the Exceed Zaku head. I mean, it's more detailed, it has more parts and stuff, but like ultimately the look is not going to be all that super different from the Exceed Zaku head, so I kind of just don't really feel like I need to. Like if I wanted to paint up a cool like large size Zaku head kit. I've got a few of the Exceed heads over here already. Can any epoxy putty be used to customize Gunpla and models? As if I had to say, yeah, as far as I know, any kind of epoxy putty, whatever you have, would work. But I'm not sure if there's any particular like epoxy putties that's really harmful to plastic. Not as far as I know, but I could definitely be wrong about that. The best bet is just to use epoxy putties that are specifically meant for plastic, so like from Tamiya or Mr. Hobby or something. Alright, so seems like inside of the torso is relatively hollow. There's a lot of parts going on here, but there's not a lot of stuff like inside the core of this thing. Got a big hollow gap in the center, which is fine. It makes it less heavy. You can see definitely some nice color separation in there for that. Then Patrick, dude, thank you, really, super a lot, really appreciate. Patrick, really appreciate your donation. Thank you. What's I'm just hang on just a second. I'm just gonna take the questions in order though, because I missed this one here from James. What is your favorite real robot or super robot series? Is that two separate questions, or you're asking me favorite real robot or super robot series? I don't. As far as robot series go, I like Gundam, Evangelion, and Big O. I've seen Big O maybe twice, but not for a long time. That's pretty much all that I know or have watched that's super robot. I would really, as much as people say that it's kind of a mixed bag, I would like to watch Darling in the Franxx because it looks cool. It looks cool just like stylistically. So I would like to watch that, but I'm aware that a lot of people said that, I think people were saying like the first half was really good and the second half was really bad. I've heard a lot of criticisms about Darling in the Franxx, but I would like to watch it at some point. But otherwise, I don't really watch any Gurren Lagann or any other kind of stuff. I just don't really watch a lot of anime in general, so I couldn't really answer that other than that. And oh, Patrick, you didn't have a question. Okay, but just showing some appreciation. Well, thank you, man. I really appreciate that. It really does help a lot. Thank you. Gary. Sorry, is it Gary or Jerry? Jerry? Yeah, it would be Jerry, right? Sorry. Which Eva RG are you gonna get? Standard one or with the base? I haven't decided yet. I would like to get the one with the base just because I want to like see what the full package is like. But honestly, the base is not that appealing for me. I'm not really super into the look of the base. Like if there was gonna be a deluxe set of the Eva kit, and Bandai asked me, okay, we're gonna have a deluxe set that comes with the Eva and something else. Like that base is not what I would have chosen. So I don't know. Just like the regular launch pad would have been more interesting for me, just as like a base, not at like the movable one. That's like the movable one. I think just like the underground like Nerve headquarters launch base, I think would have been more cool. But so I haven't quite decided yet which one I'm going to review. If I'm going to review the one with the base or without, but I do think that the RG Eva itself looks awesome, so I can't wait for that. But I haven't decided if I care to have the base or not. Or just like a deluxe set that just comes with a bunch more weapons and stuff would have been cool. Like a bunch more of like the lesser known or lesser used weapons from the series. But I assume that like shit. I assume that later kits like Eva 02 or 0 Unit 0 will come with different weapons and stuff, so you'll be able to get different weapons later on. So we will see. And yeah, as we mentioned just earlier in the chat, the big news of the day is the new P-Bandai variation of the Blaze Zaku Warrior. That is really exciting. I'm really happy about that. Definitely. But that thing has the gigantic Gatling guns on the back, which are cool, but like the ammo drums for the Gatling guns on the back are gigantic. That thing's not gonna be able to stand up by itself, I'm feeling. Brendan on Twitch asked, how's the color separation on this kit? The color separation, I mean, there's a picture on the outside of the box I showed you guys that shows it's unpainted. But obviously, as you can see here, the color separation is very good. It's got a ton of little tiny green parts that make for all the little green details and everything, and just the way the parts put together, you got the white and the gray parts all intermixed in there. So the color separation is really good. But that's pretty standard for Kotobukiya kits, so it's not really super surprising. If the color separation was not good, I would be a lot more surprised. So rest assured on that one, the color separation is quite good. Could definitely use some panel lining though, because you've got a ton of detail here, especially on the white parts. You know that if you're looking at it from a distance, it's just all that detail is gonna be lost. But if you look at it up close, or just if you go ahead and take the time to just panel line this thing up, just throw a wash on it, and I mean if you didn't want to paint the whole thing, just gloss coat it, panel line it, flat coat it, it'd probably be looking really cool. And then maybe just a little dry brush on there as well, just to kind of bring out all the edges and everything as well. I think you could have this thing done up without painting it like at all, without painting the full thing, I mean, and it'd still look really, really good, I think. How about the panel lining opportunity on this kit? Yeah, as I was just saying, yeah, the panel lining opportunities on this kit are plentiful. There's a lot of detail on the parts. James, thank you for your contribution there as well. Love your videos. They got me into Gunpla. Well, I appreciate that. It's still weird to hear that. I mean, I've been doing this for a while now, so I've heard that a bunch. I can't remember when I first heard that anyone say like, "Oh, your videos got me into Gunpla," but I've heard that a bunch. It's still weird to hear though, because like, I don't know. Like when I was first starting this channel, I mean, I think I don't remember. I don't even remember now, but I would see people saying stuff like that on like the OG channels, like Henry's channel, like Henry especially, and like Robert, and like the old big channels before mine, and people saying like, "You got me into Gunpla, you got me into painting," things like that, and never really expected that anyone would get into Gunpla because of the videos that I was making. But like, you get people sending messages like, "Oh, I just was looking at other stuff and came across I was recommended your channel, and I checked it out, and Gunpla looks super interesting," or something like that. And just, it's surprising. It's interesting. Don't know how I feel about that. It's cool, and the more people are into Gunpla, the better, because more people are into Gunpla, more people are buying Gunpla. It's more money for Bandai, which means more kits for the rest of us. So it's always good. But it is huh? Wait a minute. Aha! When I was cutting out all the parts, getting this kit ready, there was one part that was left on the runner, and I couldn't find it anywhere in the manual. I was looking through the manual. Where is this part? There's one part. It's like, where does that go? And here it is. I finally found it. Aha. Goes right here on the side of the chest. There we are. Anyway. Yeah. Okay. Zach, have you built any of Kotobukiya's Hexa Gear kits? Chris, yeah, I built one Hexa Gear kit. What was the name of that? I suddenly can't remember the name. I forgot to put this part on here. Better put that on before I forget. I built one Hexa Gear kit. What was that? Yes, I did, and I reviewed it. If you just search Zaku Hexa Gear, you'll find it. And I did, yeah, also review a governor kit as well. Yeah, that's right. But I do want to review maybe two more. And I think we talked about this maybe on the last stream as well. I want to review, I think it was the, and you guys reminded me the name of that. Sorry, it was the Ray Impulse, something like that. And then also one of the bulk arms. There's a couple different variations. I'm not sure which variation I'll go for, but maybe early next year I'll kind of revisit Hexa Gear with a couple of reviews. It's just kind of crazy how Hexa Gear is like also, as I was just talking about earlier, I understand a lot of people's complaints about Kotobukiya kits is how expensive they are, but Hexa Gear is also quite expensive, and the strange thing is that it's Kotobukiya's own property, so I know they're not paying for like property licensing for Hexa Gear, so I guess it's just they're just expensive to produce. But they are cool and super duper customizable. So I mean, they're kind of like, in a way, like I don't. It feels kind of weird to compare them to Legos, to say like adult Legos or like modeling Legos. They're sci-fi modeling Legos. Kind of. Anyway, yeah, the Blockbuster. That's what it was. Thank you. The Blockbuster that I reviewed. Thank you for that. Oak Tree. The Hexa Gear stuff is so super customizable. If that's what you want to do, like if you want to have fun, it's like going crazy, customizing something just a ton, then the Hexa Gear kits are great for that. If you just want to build something just like how it's meant to be built, straight out of the box, then you're probably going to find the Kotobukiya or the Hexa Gear kits are just really expensive. So it just depends on what you want to do with them. But they're cool, definitely. Very unique. Some of the more like animal-shaped ones are almost sort of like kind of building like Zoids. Similar to that, anyway. Yep. Am I putting this in here wrong, or why is that not going in there? Yep, get in there. Sure. Lee asked, any plans to re-record your tutorial series? Yes, definitely, Lee. Maybe next month, after Frame Arms month is done. Yeah, it's something I've been meaning to do for a long time. So I want to redo my old tutorial series, and this time with airbrushing. With my original old tutorial series, it's too old now at this point. That was done with spray cans. This part does not want to go in there. But obviously I'm not using spray cans anymore, and I'm a little bit more knowledgeable, or a little bit more experienced anyway, with airbrushing, so I'm gonna redo the tutorial series with airbrushing. Damn. Yes. And Hasaki, a review and a build of the Bandai Big O model kit would be nice as well. Yeah, I would like to if I could find one. I know it's probably not that hard to find if you look. But yeah, I would need to find one. And yeah, I'd like to review that. If any of you guys don't know, Bandai did actually make a model kit of the Big O. Long in the 90s, wasn't it? It's been late 90s, I guess. Okay, alright. So we got this part here for the back. That, and you guys should be able to see already, I mean, how nice the color separation is on this. There we go. There we go. In there. Alright. Then you have an option here for the back. Now I remember this was something to do with the canon of this. You have this plate to just cover up this part on the back, or you can take that off and you put this part here on the back. This part is something, I can't remember what the name of this is, but excuse me. Dia asks, do you have any tips or tool recommendations for someone who wants to start kit bashing, building custom Gunpla? I should probably do a video about this. That would probably be a good idea. But yeah, like for basic customization, really like the most useful tools, I would say, like just aside from basic stuff like sandpaper, sanding sticks, nippers, knife, files. Aside from that, like most basic stuff, I would say probably the most useful tools, the tools that I most frequently use would be like just drill, scribing, maybe any sort of scribing tool. What else? Yeah, glue, like Tamiya thin cement, drill. I don't know. That's like that's really the most useful tool for doing basic customization because we use that a lot. And then I mean, like I said, just plot plate, knife, maybe a basic scriber, stuff like that. And yes, oak tree, the infamous Kotobukiya tight fit. The kit is supposed to have different type of backpack on equipment. Yeah, this is a different type of backpack for that. So, alright, we're building the waist part next, which is much less complicated than the torso, because it doesn't have any skirt armor really or anything too much. It's pretty simple. Okay, so first off, we got this part here. These green parts go on the side. Because if you guys didn't know, aside from this version, there's also like the black version with a little bit different name. And that version is a little bit different in its design. It comes with some different weapons and stuff. Cool. I actually really like the rifle that the black version of this comes with. But I definitely prefer just the overall design of this one though, more than the black version. But what do you guys think? Goro, how's the build going so far? It's going pretty good. It's nothing really too like surprising so far. The fit quality is good, details are really good, but I kind of knew all that going into it. And let's see here. I assumed all that going into it. One thing that I will say is that it does seem to be, so far, we're not to the limbs yet. The limbs is probably where this is going to change, but at least so far, it's very minimal on the seam line. So like I mentioned earlier, there's just a little one there like on the back of the head. And so far, that's pretty much it. A lot of the seam lines on at least the torso and here on this waist section that I'm seeing so far are pretty well hidden. So as far as Kotobukiya kits go, it's got the standard nice detail, nice part separation, but the standard amount of seam lines, at least so far, okay, 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 the standard amount of seam lines seem to be less than usual, which is good. That's the emergency alert, sorry. Which I don't know what the emergency is today. I mean, high winds or something, but like we get emergencies for anything. Rain, high winds, stupid stuff, but okay, this part needs to go over the top of there, and then this part up underneath there, like that. William, Alex, are you going to Japan for GBWC? Okay. A typhoon is coming. Yeah, it's probably a typhoon alert. Yeah, I haven't seen any news about that though, but yeah. Yeah, William, I know you asked me about doing the meetup in Tokyo, so I'll let you guys know about that. If any of you guys watching missed this past weekend's episode of Gunpla Talk, I mentioned that I'm going to Japan for the GBWC finals to go and cover the event there. Tim, Child of Mecca, is going to be there representing the USA, so we'll try to hang out with him and document as much as we can of his experiences there, showing you guys how all of that's going. You guys will be able to see all of that, and also going to be working on updating my Tokyo Gunpla guide while I'm there as well. So I'm going to be in Japan for just a couple days and trying to get a bunch of content for you guys. But while we're there, yes, we will try to do a meetup as well. William asked me about that. I actually hadn't thought about it yet, and Will asked me, and I thought, oh yeah, that's probably a good idea, because last time I did a meetup, it's now like 2 years ago. Last time I did a meetup in Tokyo, actually a lot more people came than I expected, so it was a pretty good time. So yes, we'll do that again. Sorry for my ignorance. So sorry for my ignorance, but is this Kotobukiya? Yeah, it's Kotobukiya, yes. Greetings from Chile, Roberto. Hello. Greetings to Chile. Alright, so a lot of parts in here for the legs, as you guys can see. Let's start here. Actually, after the waist section, you're meant to build the arms first, but I want to skip to the legs so we can get this guy standing as soon as possible. And also need PCC as well. It does use polycaps a little bit, but not a whole lot. It's not too extensive. We got a good handful of them, but it's not too much. Put these bits together like that, and this one on here, and then this part on top of here. Alright, very nice. Yes. Let's see. Is it expensive to go on the voyage to see the unicorn in the flesh? I mean, yeah, traveling abroad is expensive no matter what, but luckily from here in Korea to Japan is very near, so it's not as expensive, obviously, as like going from the U.S. Here we are. And there's that. The nice thing in a lot of the newer Bandai manuals, they're making the instructions easier to see the colors of the part, even if the instructions printed in black and white, they'll still like have the parts shaded. So like dark colored parts, light colored parts, easier to see. But in this case, it's not the case. So if I have a big pile of parts here, it's a little bit more difficult to just find the part that I'm looking for because I don't know which color it is. CB. Seton has, hi, can someone tell me what should I look out for when I'm building my first MG? Love your tutorial homework, thank you. It's 00 Quanta. Building your first MG, if you've built multiple other kits, then there's not really too much to worry about. Maybe if you never built another MG, if you built high grades or anything, it's just all the instructions exactly the same as you would with a high grade, and that's pretty much it. And just exercise the same caution that you would for anything. Yeah. Yep. Alright. Then we need where? This one? No. This one? Yes. No? Yes. The opposite of that. This one. Here we are. That goes here. Here. Right. Like that. And on the other side. There we are. Mulambo, how's the kit so far? The kit so far are very nice, I gotta say. Construction of it is really good so far. Glenn, hello. Trying to decide on my next MG, which do you guys think we better purchase, Dynamis or Zaku Warrior? I would go for the Dynamis. I think it's a much more intricate build, and therefore you probably will get more enjoyment out of it. The Zaku Warrior, which is a much simpler build, it would go together faster. And so you may, depending on what you want. If you're gonna spend the money on a kit and like it's tough to decide because maybe you can't get kits really super often, then I would say get a kit that you can really savor, you can really enjoy a good amount. And in that case, the Dynamis would be better. You'll get more out of it. There's nothing wrong with the Zaku Warrior. It's also a perfectly fine kit. And I would recommend getting, between the two, I would say get both. But if you can't get both right away, I would say get the Dynamis first and get the Zaku Warrior later. are you going to be doing the other border break kit later on? Unholy, are you talking about the black version of this? No, probably not. I won't bother with that one. Because generally the construction of the kits, I mean, at least as far as, like, for the sake of reviewing the kits, there's not really any point in reviewing both of them because I think they're pretty much mostly the same. It's just some aesthetic differences in the weapons. Some of the details are a little bit different, but generally it's pretty much the same. So there wouldn't really be too much point for me to review both of them. If I really like the design of the black one and I wanted to get it just for myself personally at some point later on, possibly, but I don't really foresee that happening, so probably won't get the black version. Okay, and what's that? What is this part? Here and here and here. What's wrong? I was just about to make a comment like, you have to be careful when building these Kotobukiya kits because there's a lot of these little parts and they like to just kind of sneak them in the manual where if you're not paying attention, it's easy to miss. Right when I was just about to say that, I did that. I missed a part. It was like fate. It made me think of that just as I was doing it. Speaking of thinking of stuff and doing stuff, over the past couple weeks, my wife and I have been slowly making our way through watching Black Mirror, and it's pretty good. It's a good time. We're enjoying it. Assuming any of you guys who are using Netflix have probably maybe already watched it all entirely by now, but so it's not going to be too much news to you guys, but we've been watching that and enjoying that pretty well. We're just through the first 3 seasons though, so we haven't watched season 4 or season 5 yet, but it's pretty interesting. The episode that we watched last night was the episode with the social media bees. If you guys know, if you guys have seen it, you know what I'm talking about. But with the bees, so that was kind of interesting. It was kind of cool how it was like a just the whole bees aspect kind of reminded me a lot of just like kind of the classic like 1960s animal terror films. So like classic movies like Killer Bees or Deadly Bees, something like that. These kind of like old horror movies. That aspect was kind of cool. Kamen, thank you for your contribution here. Hang on. Let me see here. A couple of questions were asked there in a row. Christopher asked, how expensive was the Godhand set of bits that you used in your last video? I think that Godhand set of bits is on US Gundam Store for, I think, $39.99, if I remember correctly. It's $40. Seems a little bit expensive, maybe, but I think very worth it. That's actually cheaper than what I remembered they were from when they first came out. I actually tried them out at Shizuka last year That's when like they were first coming out, and at the Godhand booth at Shizuoka, they had them there. They were doing like a demo on them, so that's why I tried them out, and I really wanted to get a set to try them out. And yeah, I gotta say, after using them, very worth it to buy. So I think $40 for that is I think worth it. I would say if you're hesitant like about the price, but if you even remotely think that you might find them useful, then I would say go for it, because they're definitely useful. You'll definitely get your money's worth out of them, so highly recommended. And then Black Otter Team asks, knowing how much you love Advance of Zeta, what design you're hoping for next? Something, I don't know, just off the top of my head, either the Keihara or the Rosette would be cool too. The version of the Marasai. That'd be pretty cool. Since Alex here currently, please. Okay, so anyway, Common, your question here. I'm new to modeling and recently saw some of your frame arms videos. I wanted to know what frame arms is exactly. Does it have an anime? How much? Frame arms does not have an anime. Frame arms is just Kotobukiya's own property. They do have some backstory for them though, but as far as I know, the backstories for the different suits is not always related. They're just kind of just random, like kind of backstory just kind of made up for them. As far as I know, I actually don't know any of the backstory for any of them. I haven't looked into it, but I think it's usually in the manual. There's some information. I'm sure you can find that translated different places online, if not even on Kotobukiya's website, possibly. I know they have information on all the suits, all the designs on their website. But no, there's no anime or anything. They're just Kotobukiya's own designed series of kits. Yeah, hopefully that answers that question for you. Yes, there is a Frame Arms Girl anime. Yeah. Oh yeah, more micro. Yes, as I've heard, it's not very good. Okay. All right. Oak Tree. Yes, Jaws. Like Jaws. Yes. Okay. Next. These parts like this here. And then this is like the foot assembly here that we're working on at the moment, by the way. Foot and ankle kind of all together here. And this part up in there. And one more polycap. Okay, here. And one more wheel here. And that is it. Close that all up. Yeah, Google around looking for the lore would be the best bet. If any of you guys know a good source where to check out the lore or the backstory of the Frame Arm stuff, then let us know in the YouTube chat there. Let Common know. Me as well, I might look into it, but I just think they're just cool designs, so that's why I like them. Let's see. I saw Hexa Gear is coming out with something. I think there's a trailer on their site. Some new Hexa Gear stuff coming out. Okay. Alright. Let's finish up this foot here. And this part goes on here. Right. And should be one for the other side, yes. Over here. this one on the back of that, like this here, and this part on the side of the foot over here, and the toe part on the top of there, like that. There you go. He's got Heelys on, so you can roll around like that. Heelys, and they're on the front of the toe there as well. And that's it. That's it for the leg. And I was wondering, that's it for the leg, but why do I have all these other parts still left over? Because these are parts for like the binders that go like on the side of the legs as well. I just cut them all out at the same time. One thing that I'll say about this leg, it's pretty short, stumpy. One thing that I don't like about the design of this, just this design in general, nothing to do with the kit, just the design, that the legs are quite short. But I mean, I think this is meant to be like a little bit more like realistic, and I guess realistically it doesn't really need super long legs, but the leg is like the same length as the torso and waist section, so it looks a bit goofy. I think once the whole thing comes together, it'll look really cool. But one thing, yeah, as far as the seam lines go, I was saying earlier that I think the seam lines on the limbs there might be a little bit more, but still, like, nothing really. So very good as far as the lack of seam lines. Very nice. And yeah, it's got like these binder bits on the side of the legs, so I've got the parts here cut out for that as well. Let's put this bit together also. There's a post on Reddit Frame Arms titled Frame Arms Stories and Timelines with most of the stories summarized there. There you go. Check the Reddit Frame Arms page, apparently. There you go. I'm gotta go walk the dogs. Alright, have fun on the dog walk there. Zen's already knew the handle of the parts. Okay. Hi, Dad. Good morning, good evening. We're building something today that's not Gundam. But still giant robot here, obviously. And that was right before. There's, and some parts on here, and it shows you in the manual. Let's see if you guys can see this. It shows you in the manual where some parts are undergated. So some of this kit is undergated. I don't know if anyone cares. Personally, I don't care about undergating at all. Honestly, I find undergating more annoying because you have to cut the part and then you have to cut it below as well, and it's just kind of more hassle. So I don't really like undergating, but I know a lot of you guys, or at least apparently, based on other reviews that I've seen, some people do like to know about if kits are undergated or where they're undergated or whatever. So if anyone was wondering, this kit is undergated. Some of the parts are anyway. Usually clean it all anyway. Sumo, what's going on? Hello, how are you? This is strange. It's like supposed to be... Did I miss something? Looks like it's just supposed to be like that. Oh no, that's right. But it also tells you to use glue here, which I'm going to assume we should be okay without using glue for the moment at least. But if the manual tells you to glue something, then it's probably a good idea to go ahead and glue it later on. Or like, if you're not going to be painting, then just glue it straight away. Obviously, if you are going to be painting, then just glue it. Just make a note or something, remember to glue it later on after it's painted. But for the time being, I don't need to worry about gluing it, I don't think. But just this little flat part here that opens up a little bit like that. The connector on there, see, if you're opening that up a bunch, the connector could maybe get loose, and that could fall off later. So For the time being, though, it doesn't need glue. It seems like it's totally fine without it. Alright, then we've got these parts here. This one should go onto here. I'm pretty excited about my frame arms build, though, you guys. Got the colors, like I said earlier, I got the base colors all done. And it's looking pretty cool. A little bit different than kind of maybe what I was expecting, or what I was thinking for the color scheme, but I think it'll work out pretty good. Yeah. And let's see. Wait a minute. That's not right. Damn. Okay. That shouldn't be like that. Let's take off this part carefully. Got the wrong piece here. Which should be this longer one, like that, right? Yes. Okay. That's with that leg. Then we can put this on here, like that, and then these parts should go together. Okay. What? This is strange. Yeah, there's like inner and outer nozzle here for the thruster, which is a bit weird. It's supposed to go in there like that, I guess. And this is supposed to be on here, like that. Okay. Kind of hard to get that part onto there. We go. Okay. So yeah, this thruster nozzle here can extend out like that. Pretty cool, I guess. And then just drop these green parts here on the top and bottom, and then this part is done. We can move on to the other leg, which hopefully won't take quite as long. Leg is not all that complicated, but there you go. That's a cool part there on the side. Spiky, pointy. One thing about the black version of this that I don't really like is it has that kind of more spiky, evil look to it, which is kind of like, okay, not that cool. I think undergating is useful on chrome gold. Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, Jonathan saying chrome undergating is useful on chrome gold plated kits. Definitely, if the kit is a plated kit, then definitely it's got to be undergated, for sure, no doubt about that. But as long as it's not an undergated, as long as it's not a plated kit, then that's a big no thank you for me on any undergating. And seeing as how Kotobukiya doesn't really do plated kits, I don't think that's ever going to happen with this one, so just don't really see the point why they made this partially undergated, but whatever the reason, it does have some. So, alright, Fabian, hello. Sumo, what's the scale of this model? This model is 1/35th scale, but as it would compare to Gunpla, it's about the size of a master grade. It's bulkier, obviously the proportions are different, but general height is probably going to be about that of a master grade, about 1/100th scale Gundam size. You said, I appreciate the idea of undergating, but it's really obnoxious to clean, so I'm the same. But yeah, it can be useful if it's for a plated kit. Other than that, no thank you. Jegan, you're asking questions and I'm not answering them? Or are you asking if your questions show up? I haven't seen. Sorry, Jagan. If I missed a question of yours, go ahead and ask it again. But just make sure your question. Just tag me or put your question in all caps so I can see it well. And I should, as far as I know, your questions should be showing up. So, yeah. If you asked something and I didn't answer it, feel free to ask it again. Alright, just because it's fresh in my mind, I'm just going to go ahead and build the side binder here first, because I can do that without instructions, I think, at this point. Let's make sure that's all pushed together well. Now, to make sure, put this together correctly, top and bottom. Alright. They're supposed to have a gold-plated Go-Rai coming out in the future. Ah, yes, the Frame Room's Girl Go-Rai has a plated version coming out, which looks pretty intense. But even on like the sample build that they had, it's got nub marks all over the place. So, I mean, like making plated versions like that for kits that aren't undergated at all, it's just not a good idea, I feel like. I don't know. I mean, just got nub marks everywhere. It does look pretty spiffy though, I will admit. I mean, the promo images for that golden Go-Rai do look pretty dang cool, even if they do have nub marks. So we need this one here. Skip ahead a little bit here to this foot part first, because I want to put this together. Here, this one here, and this one under here. This big wheel back here. And number 51, maybe PCB. This part here. What scale is the RG Eva going to be? I don't know, I haven't seen that. I don't think I've seen them mention what scale the Eva is meant to be. It probably does say somewhere. That's not right. I'm looking for this one. But that's a good question, Lee. I haven't seen that. I'm assuming the size will be kind of generally about like the same size as the normal normal RG. So probably a little bit taller. So I mean probably similar in height to maybe like the RG Sazabi, something like that. But as far as the official scale, I'm not sure. Yeah. That's what it looks like, and I would assume it'd be something like that. It's like Bandai and plating the H unicorn 100 times. Please stop, no marks on it. Yeah, yeah. If they knew that they were going to be plating that kit so many times, they really should have redone it without all the nub marks on it. The H unicorn, even the MG unicorn is bad. The perfect gray is a little bit better. So I think by that time they already knew they knew they were going to be making plated versions of it. So like, Gotta make sure we undergate this time. But yeah. There we go. That here. This one here. And this and this. Hear that squeaky tight fit on these parts for sure. Yeah. And here. And that toe part, how did that go? Hmm? Whoa, 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 whoa. Winged Wolf said, did you see Bandai announce the P-Bandai / Zaku Phantom? Yes, I did. Wolf. I saw that. We talked about that a little bit already. Yes, very excited for that. That looks really cool, for sure. I'm still just really surprised that we haven't seen more Master Grade Jegan variants. Maybe the Master Grade Jegan just didn't really sell as well as Bandai had hoped. So they're kind of holding off on the variants, but man, they made like 15 variants of the HG Jegan. And so far of the MG, they've only made the one, and it's like a very slightly different variant with the D-type it was, right? So just got like a couple little bit different parts. It's not really very different. So really wondering when they're going to make some of the more different versions of the Master Grade Jegan. But hey, whether it's Jegan variants or Zaku Warrior variants, I'm keen for either of those, so it's all good. Obviously, it'd be nice if some of them were not premium Bandai, but that's undoubtedly going to be the case for the majority of them. Where is the part I need for this? Hiding somewhere or what? There it is. No, that's not it. Hello? Ah, yes. It was hiding in there. The Eva one is 75 meters tall. Standard Gundam is 60, so I'm guessing 144. Maybe. Even at 144 scale, that's gonna be pretty big. I don't know. Wait a minute. No. Wait. Standard Gundam is 18 meters tall, not 60 meters tall. Do you think Bandai will make an MG Astaroth Gundam? It's okay, Greg. MG Astaroth, I don't know. I would say an Astaroth being a variant that didn't appear in the anime is probably not likely. Probably not as likely as something like the Floros or the even the Gushan remake, or what's the other one that I'm drawing a blank on at the moment? You know what I'm talking about. The blue one. The evil one. What's the name of that? Shit. You know, the Vidar, thank you. Yeah. I would say the Astaroth is probably not very likely. But maybe as like a P-Bandai kit or something. I could see that as being a more likely possibility. This one here. Here. Go. And this one here on the front. These gray parts here on the side. Here and here. Waiting for an MG Grays. An MG Grays definitely would be cool, for sure. Kimaris Vidar, yes. Kimaris Vidar, yeah, I think would be a pretty cool ones. I would like either of those. Then need this one. Here, this part. In there like that. And on the front of there. Then this one, another polycap. It's going to be opposite. Right? What? That's not right. That's wrong. Go away. There we are. And this one at the top of here, this polycap. Drop that in to there. Close this up. Close this up here. There we go. This part here on the front. This part here on the top. Fold that, bend that, plug in the foot, plug on the body, plug on the side part. There we go. It's ready to skate around, roll around. Looking pretty cool. These parts here on the side are very sharp, so be careful with those. But pretty dope looking for sure. And color separation, very nice. Seams really good. Detailed like crazy. It's a really handsome looking kit, to be sure. Wayne Wolf said, I just hope neither the Lupus or the Lupus Rex are P-Bandai. Well, yeah, we'll see. I definitely prefer the Lupus Rex over the Lupus. The Lupus is just kind of like not that cool, in my opinion. The Lupus Rex at least has like the really extreme proportions and like, so it's really super unique. It has that going for it. The regular Lupus is just kind of like, I don't know. I'm not as into it. It also, I mean, the regular Lupus has a little bit kind of longer arms and stuff too. I mean, it's got some unique proportions as well, but I like, at least with the Rex, it's like taken to the extreme. And one advantage that the Master Grade Lupus Rex would have over the 1/100 scale kit is that surely the claw parts would be separate pieces, so you wouldn't have to worry about masking those parts. That'll be useful. Dave B, how's the articulation? Any gimmicks? Sliding armor? Not a lot of like sliding armor or anything. As I mentioned just a little bit earlier, though, like this thruster nozzle on like these side bits will like to move out. It's got this little flap that opens up here on the side. The wheels underneath the feet are actually like turning wheels. The toe bend exists. I don't know. So like the articulation, yeah, so far is pretty good. I mean, if you've seen like the production images and everything of this, I mean, like it's meant to be really closable, and it does seem like so far like that is the case. So let's just see here. Oops. Yeah, the only part that I'm noticing so far that is having some trouble is the hip connector part here. Whoa. I just pulled off the foot. The knee bend is super tight, so that's what's kind of tripping me up here at the moment. This hip connector part, this top white part fell off already once before, and then this whole thing just came apart this time now. So this does seem to be a small weak point of the kit there, so you just have to be a little bit careful with those hips. But not really an issue, just the knee bend was really tight, so I was pulling it kind of the wrong way and pulled the foot off. But yeah, as far as like articulation gimmicks, doesn't have like a lot of like sliding arm or anything like that, but the articulation does look good. Yeah, Lee, how much did you say it cost? This costs around 115. I think on USA Gundam Store it's $117. But 10% off would be what 1170 off. So there was shipping. So it's basically kind of like, well, it would be free shipping, or well, I don't know what the shipping would be, but about $115 probably end up being around there. So yeah, not cheap, surely, but I'm not done with it quite yet. But at this point, I can say with certainty that if it's the kind of kit that like you want to get like painted up, do all the panel lining, dry brushing on it, like do some weathering on it, and just like turn it into this like a really nice, fancy, super high detailed looking piece, then I think you'll definitely get your money's worth. If it's something you just want to snap up and put on your shelf, then you're probably going to be feeling like a little bit less excited about it. If that makes sense, hopefully. So we just got to build the arms, and then the weapons are relatively simple, so we'll get to those here in a moment, but just build these parts up here for the arms first. So we got that one, we got this bit here, which should fit into there. Don asks, what is the X-Acto knife number you're using? I can't seem to find it in the US. I don't use an X-Acto knife, I just use the Tamiya modeler's knife, and that also uses these Tamiya modeler's knife replacement blades. So that's what I use. Love these. Because it's not as long and pointy as an X-Acto knife. The blade on an X-Acto knife is just too long. And it's just completely unnecessary. And like, in my opinion, too dangerous because it's longer and it's a longer and pointier blade. So I think much easier to accidentally poke yourself with it. This is a smaller blade, which I think just gives you more control. It's just very short, small. There's even smaller ones. So there's another modeler's knife that I have that I just kind of bought by mistake that uses smaller blades, but I haven't actually really used that one all that much because I just stick with this one. Hell, I just paid $46 for the Woundwort P-Bandai. It's always pricey in the US. Yeah, P-Bandai was going to be pricey. $46 for the Woundwort is a lot, but it's a really cool kit, so it's not that bad. But yeah, that's a lot. about the same size of an early to mid UC MG or MG wing. Yeah, it's probably, I think, a little bit shorter than your standard MG. Yeah, something more like the size of a master grade wing kit or something like that. Yeah, probably the F90 kit, something like that. Just for the sake of it, let's see. This one is still in my review queue. I need to get this reviewed for you guys, but here's the F90 Gundam, so you can see it's right about the same height. So the F90, yeah, is a pretty short kit, and it's right about the same height as this guy, so there you go. Alright. Yeah, Wing Wolf, because this stack in front here is my review queue, my to-do list. And why do I have two of these? Did I cut out one more than I needed? Why did I do that? Anyway. Alright, where were we? Got these parts here. That one goes in there like that. And that. Like that. On you. In there. And this wheel part. Tell me a knife is worth every penny. Yes, indeed. Then this part in there like that. Then close that up. With this. Sumo asks, how is it been as a full-time content creator? It's good. Busy. Yeah. Staying busy. Just because there's a lot that I would like to do and that I'm trying to do. But there's still just only so many hours in a day, so it's kind of, you can't get around to everything. But I'm trying to do as much as I can. Just as a preview as to what's on the way for you guys after this live build, anyway. Then the next video before the review for this guy will be a Machine and Krieger modeling book video. So I've got one of those I recorded actually on Friday after my review, or after my interview with Lincoln. Later on in the afternoon, I sat down to do the book review on Matt K modeling book on the Machine Krieger Archive Volume 2 book. It wasn't actually related to the fact that I had just done the interview with Lincoln, but it's because in my review queue over here, there's a couple of books, and so I had some time later in the afternoon, and I thought, oh, why don't I do one of these book reviews that I've been meaning to do. So I just pulled out the Machine and Krieger one. I didn't really think, like, I didn't make the connection in my mind that, like, I just done this interview with Lincoln, so I want to do this Matt K book. But it just happened to be the one that I decided to review on, and so I'm going through the book, and there's a section in the book all about Lincoln, so it's actually kind of funny. So he appears multiple times in the book, and just like in the background and some photos and stuff. But then there's a whole part of the book that's just like all about him. So it's kind of funny. It's a coincidence. But so I've got that video that I'm going to throw up for you guys in the meantime while I'm working on the review for this. And then then we'll have the review for this kit. And then after that, it would probably be obviously there'll be another review. There'll be another work in progress video for the frame arms build, going over the painting of that, and reviewing the V2 Gundam, not the Victory 2, the Build Divers version, Build Divers V2 Gundam, and what else? All kinds of stuff. Lots of things. And I realized this past weekend that I just kind of forgot to do the online polling. I was going to do like a bracket polling for frame arms. I wanted to do a bracket of like best frame arms design, and I just kind of forgot to. So should I still do that or not? What do you guys think? Still do the frame arms, best frame arms design bracket poll just for fun? Because frame arms month is about to be over, but I realized I forgot to do that. So, what do you guys think? Lee asked, how often do you change your blade? I usually change the blade, Lee, like every 2, maybe 3 kits, depending. Like if I'm just snap building kits, I'm not using the blade like for doing like modification work or anything like that. Then if it's like just high grade kits, then I can build like maybe 3 high grades before I'll change the knife. Master grade kits, then obviously maybe 2, or I don't know. It just depends. If I can feel the knife's getting dull, I'll change it. I'm not like trying to extend the life of the blades too much, because it is easier. Oh, that's the. Oh, I put these on the wrong side. Did I? Indeed. Slade, hello from Alaska. Hello. Zach, how do you keep track of all the questions that are coming in on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube? I've got windows here open of all of them. Don't get that many questions on Facebook, so it's pretty much just YouTube and Twitch for the most part. The Zuda, you've recently done the Zuda. Winged Wolf, are you checking out what's behind me in the review queue? Yeah. Yes, the Wing Verkaz at the bottom. That's been built years and years ago. I brought that back with me from America. From my parents' garage is where I was keeping that. So that's just kind of there. Shit. What? I think I need to check the manual. No. Here we are. But yeah, also the Zuda I built a long time ago. But the reason that is in the queue is because I was just moving that from a different place, and so it's just kind of there. Yeah, the Delta Kai is it's on the to-do list, and other things that was meant to go in there before closing up the hand. Oops. And finger should be there. Oops. Oops. Yeah. Let me see. That goes in there. Like that. And about this finger. Construction of this hand is a bit odd. Don't really know why they made it this way, but alright. It's kind of tricky, seems like. But here we go. Alright. And this would be like our rifle holding hand, it looks like. Okay. And then this one here, here, and here, like that. When I was separating out the parts, it seems like I put all the right hand parts together with the left arm, so I'll have to stick those over to the side. But we've got holding hands, closed fists, and open hands for this guy. Let's build the other arm so we can actually put those on. HG Zuda is still a cool little kit. HG Zuda, yeah, it's cool except for those awful ugly legs. Angelic Reaper asks, what do you think of the metal structure new? The metal structure new, I'm not interested in it at all. Number one, I'm just, as I said many times, it's not really that big of a fan of the new Gundam in general. But the other reason is that it's so expensive. I just don't, I mean, like, Bandai should know already from just their metal build series is that those aren't super generally popular. Like, obviously they must sell metal build stuff well enough that they make them relatively often. So metal build stuff sales must be alright, but they've got to know that metal build stuff is just not anywhere near the sales of just like regular kits. So why they would make a super extreme expensive version of a metal build, I'm not too sure. Because I just have to imagine that that thing is just too expensive. Like only a very small percentage of people are going to be like generally interested in wanting to get the metal, what was it? Metal structure new. But man, I'm not one of them. I'm not interested in that at all. If it was just I mean, kind of have the exact same thought as with the high-res kits. If Bandai was doing the high-res kits as just new MGs. So I like the designs. I like the high-res designs, but I just don't like how they're done, and they're really expensive. So, like with the high-res kits, I wish that those were just done as master grades, regular master grades. A master grade 2.0 wing with that stylistic design would have been cool. A master grade 2.0, what is it, God Gundam with that design would have been cool. And so I kind of had the same feeling then with the metal structure new Gundam. If they would have just made that as just a perfect grade new Gundam, I think that would have been much better. It would have sold a lot better. Personally, I would have been much more interested in it. But, you know, that's just me personally. But I just think, you know, above all else, I think just the sales in general would have been better. So, I don't know. I watched your High New Ka unboxing yesterday because I wanted to see if I should ask for it for Christmas. First of all, it's quite the change since then. Second of all, still have positive thoughts about it. Yeah, the High New Ka, yeah. I still like the kit, definitely. I would still recommend the High New Ka. Definitely. Did you see the new G-frame announcement? Yeah, the Shinanju, the Jim, and the Hazel. Yes. I didn't see the fact that there's going to be P-Bandai Hazel Kai parts for the G-frame. I didn't see that. That's cool. Interesting. I've yet to get any P-Bandai G-frame stuff because a lot of times it's just kind of too expensive. The G-frame stuff is cool, but the P-Bandai stuff is just too expensive for what it is, in my opinion. But I'll look into that for the Hazel. That's interesting. Comment asks, if you could design a frame arms mecha, what would the design theme be? Deep sea, minor, asteroid, medics, sword power? I don't know. I don't know. That's a tough one. Something cool. I don't know. As long as it looks cool. It's kind of, it's not a very exciting answer, but if it looks cool, then I'll be happy with it. Doesn't particularly need to be any specific theme or anything like that. To know why they didn't just put the effort to make it into a metal construct new, just make PG. Yeah, like I was saying, yeah, new Gundam. I don't know why they didn't just make a perfect grade new Gundam. I say it's still very possible that at some point in the future they still will make a They still will make a perfect grade new Gundam at some point, but this time around they wanted to make this big old thing, so alright. Okay, thank you for the link, Winged Wolf. I'll check that out here in a little bit. Alright, there's that. Then we got this part on here, like that. And then on the other side here, and then this part on. Hey, what? Huh? Yes. What? Ah, like that. Oh, so this is like the first, one of the few kind of really notable seam lines on this is here on the back of this small part here on the arm, the upper arm, on the back of that, these white parts, the seam line down the middle of that. Kind of the only real notable seam line so far. So, not a lot. Like I said, tiny one on the back of the head, tiny one on the back of the arm here. That's pretty much it. So there you go. That arm is done. And plugging this onto the body, it doesn't seem, it seems like it should go in a little bit more, but it's not. So I guess that's it. Let's go ahead and put our fist on here. This also looks a little bit goofy. It looks like kind of not quite right. There's that. Let's get these other hands built. Gunpla Uruguay. How's it going? You're watching on the Shinkansen back to Tokyo. Vacation's over. Oh no. But I think it's fair to say you had a pretty awesome vacation. So I'm really happy for you, man. I'm glad you got to go over there, and it seems like you had a really good trip. So that's awesome. And I think seems like you got to like travel around and see a whole lot more of Japan than I think a lot of people usually do on their first trip over. So I think you did pretty well. Majority of people who are just visiting Japan for the first time, I would assume, probably just kind of spend most of the time in Tokyo. Maybe go down to Osaka or Kyoto, but I think get around to all of those places and I'll do all of that. That's pretty good. But when people ask me, it's just kind of general stuff about traveling in Japan or whatever, usually for anyone that would ask, if depending on how long they're going to be able to stay in Japan, if anyone asks about like what they should see or where they should go in Japan, I would usually just recommend anyone just go to Tokyo first anyway. If it's your first trip, just go to Tokyo because there's so much to see and do in Tokyo. if you're there if your vacation is only for a week or even like 2 weeks, then I would say just stay in Tokyo because there's plenty to see and do. And then next time you come, go to like Osaka and Kyoto or whatever other places outside of Tokyo. But yeah, if you got a good amount of time, then definitely it's cool to be able to get out and see stuff outside of Japan. Brian asks, "What is Japan?" Hey, Strider, good morning. Once again, you're coming in right towards the end of the stream here. As you can see, the kid's pretty much almost done. Sorry, man. Hope I have a great holiday weekend. Yeah, we don't celebrate Thanksgiving here in Korea. Koreans do, however, have a similar day, which they just kind of call like Thanksgiving Day. But as far as like the reasoning behind the day, it's not similar at all. Well, I mean, it doesn't have the same origin at all, I should say. But the general theme is there, that you just get together with family and enjoy the holiday. But anyway, that has already come and gone here in Korea a month or so ago. Oh, 2 months ago, I guess. That should be like that. There we go. Yeah. But yeah, even though Korea generally doesn't celebrate Thanksgiving, we just in our family we could more, but we usually don't. We usually don't do a whole lot for Thanksgiving. But I definitely miss it though. I especially just miss, getting together with family, of course, and just all that good home cooking, all that good food is definitely one of the things that I miss about being in America. So just getting these weapons put together, and that is going to be a wrap on the Kisei Kuushiki. You're working on the Penelope now, getting ready to build it for all to see. Okay, yes. Penelope is certainly an extensive build. Angelic Reaper asks, is your wife Korean? Yes, my wife is indeed Korean. Ooh. Winged Wolf asks, so you said you prefer the Banshee in Unicorn mode. What about the Unicorn itself? Do you prefer just the Banshee, Unicorn, Phoenix, all of them? I don't know if I would say that I prefer them in Unicorn mode, but just I very much do like them in Unicorn mode as well. Shit, that seems dangerous. I really like the Unicorn mode for them. I'll just say that. I'm not sure if I would say I prefer it, but yeah, all of them. I like the Unicorn mode a lot. I think that may be the only way I'll find a decent wife. I need to go traveling. Well, I don't know. I don't know. I would recommend, whether it's for finding a decent girlfriend or wife, I wouldn't really list that among the reasons as to why, but I would say definitely traveling is always a good thing, just in general. One thing here, okay, for the rifle here, it's meant to fold in half like that, but this hinge is super, super tight, so, and the connection of this to the body is just on two little pegs, which seem like they could very easily just be broken off when you're folding this. So if you guys are having this kit, be really careful with the folding of the rifle here, because it seems like you could really easily break off those parts. And it wouldn't be a very easy fix either, because it's kind of a lot riding on that not being broken. All right, then our sword here, and that will be a wrap. So if you guys have any more specific questions about this build or anything so far, make sure you get your questions in right now, because we're going to wrap up the stream here as soon as I'm done. And I'm going to go first eat some lunch and then work on some other stuff. So let me know what you guys would like to know, anything else about this ahead of the review. Where are those parts? Oh, that one goes here on the base of the rifle. Yeah, Jonathan, that's a good point. Just you guys were just talking about the Penelope has a lot of blank spots. Yeah, the Penelope certainly has a lot of space for customization. Scribing opportunities on that. Watch episode 2. What's this kit from? Ghost Wolf. This kit is from Border Break. This is a Japanese game. There we go. That tiny little green piece fits on there, and that's a wrap on that. This sword blade extends too. It's cool. This is like the shortened, stored version, and the handle extends out, and then the blade also extends out like that. So the full length, and the rifle folds. So cool. The rifle folds up, the blade extends. So cool. I have like stored versions of them and the in-use versions of them. So that's a wrap on the Kisei Kuushiki. Cool build. Really nice build. Definitely much fewer seam lines than most Kotobukiya kits that I've built, so that's nice. Super detailed. Articulation seems nice. There's a couple of weak points where maybe we have a couple parts that kind of fall off maybe a little bit easily, but that doesn't seem like anything that's not easily fixed with some glue. So overall, I gotta say, pretty nice for sure. I've yet to check out some of the other intricacies of the build, things that you can do with storing the weapons and all that. We'll check it out in the review, but is it worth the price tag? At this point, I'm still thinking that I'm not sure, but yeah, I think I'd still just say it seems the audience I would recommend this for is people who maybe like really super highly detailed resin kits, because I think if you built this up sort of similar to like a really detailed resin kit where you're just it's like building it up, doing a really nice paint job on it, and then just doing some weathering on it and all of that just to make it look like it's super nice, then it's gonna look awesome. Yeah. But there you go. So for the time being, that's that. I'll have a full review out for you guys as soon as I can. I said the next video up in the meantime is going to be the Matt K modeling book review. So that is it for today's stream. Thanks to you guys for hanging out. And I didn't think there was any other questions that came in at the last bit here. Let's see. Yeah, maybe that. Yeah, sorry, you came in right. Fatty, you came in right at the very end here. That seems to be about it for your guys' questions. So with that, guys, I'll see you next time. Bye bye.